Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with a new unboxing for you. As you can tell, we're going to be opening a new ZT today. This is one of the only knives from 2017 that I did not pick up, and that was the 920, the Les George flipper, based on his full-size Harpy model. Gonna go ahead and open this guy up. What comes inside is your standard ZT stuff, the care and maintenance kit, what to know, and just about nothing else. So ZT does a good job of just providing simplicity in their knives, and here it is, the 0920. Now, I've been looking forward to this knife for a little while because I really love the 0055. It made my best of 2017 list in the top 5. I also really liked the 0850, but I shied away from this knife initially for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's quite large. It's a 4-inch blade. It also has a recurve, and so for those couple of reasons, I ended up not picking it up. It came in at a good price point. I want to say it was somewhere around $240 or something like that. And for a large blade of CPM 20 CV from an American manufacturer, that's not too bad. I ended up picking this one up on the secondary market for a very reasonable price, and it is basically like new. I cannot see any marks on this knife. I'm pretty sure it was never really used. You know, maybe it opened an envelope or two, maybe it was carried once or twice, but no big deal. What I wanted to do was get this one in hand to see how this felt as compared to the other knives from 2017. So that we know what we're looking at here, let's go ahead and bust out the ruler and get a couple of measurements going on here. So like I mentioned before, the blade length back to the handle is 4 inches. It's a very big blade. The actual cutting length is about 3.75, maybe a 3.8 inches of actual cutting length. And with that curve and recurve, you're going to get actually a little bit longer than that. Overall length is right at 9 inches, so it is a big honking knife. I can see why Kevin Cleary liked this knife so much. The handle is right at 5 inches, and the grip area is a hair over 4.5, maybe 4.6 inches of grip area right there. One of the dimensions that impresses me the most right off the bat on this guy is the overall width. For such a big knife, it actually comes in at just over 0.5 inches, so a nice size right there. And then the blade stock is coming in at 155 thousandths. So a nice beefy knife right there. Definitely in my sort of wheelhouse in terms of size and carry. I really enjoy these larger ZTs. I think they do an excellent job. Speaking of which, I'll bring out a couple of others for a size comparison real quick. Here's the 0392, so one of my absolute favorite knives of all time. Definitely a bit bigger than the 0392. Out comes the 0606 BLK, so very, very similar, if not identical overall measurements to the 0606. So definitely happy about that. This one is certainly going to be much more of a carrier than the 0606. I've enjoyed carrying that one, but I'm really afraid to use it because of its sort of fancier and collectability sort of edge on that one. I'll bring out a couple of common knives right here. Here's the Paramilitary 2 and the Mannix 2, so you have an idea. Bigger than the PM2, certainly bigger than the Mannix 2. So a big knife right here, but thankful to have this in hand. There were a couple of things that really drew me to this knife. Number one, I think that it's a very good-looking design. Les George is a well-known custom knife maker. He did design this knife. It's based off his full-size Harpy custom, and it actually does a very good job of staying true to that design. He makes a few mini Harpies, and those are similar to the smaller knives, the 0900 and things like that. But it's very cool to see ZT coming out with these heavy-duty collaborations with these awesome makers. We'll go ahead and break this knife down anatomically and see what we're looking at. Up front is a 4-inch blade of CPM 20 CV. 20 CV being one of the best steels on the market today, chemically equivalent to M390 and CTS 204P. Everyone's favorite steels, great corrosion resistance, great toughness, great edge holding abilities, and just overall a great steel. So super excited to see that on here. Moving back to the pivot, it runs on the KVT ball bearing system, ultra smooth. It just drops down by the weight of the blade there, and it's an incredible action. Now again, this one has been owned secondhand and has been flipped a few hundred times, and it definitely shows that it's been broken in. Something early on that I'm noticing is that the detent ball sits quite prominently. and so it's easy to get the blade kind of stuck on the detent ball sometimes. I think Kevin referenced that in his overall discussion video and review, so I'll have to kind of get used to that. Moving back to the handle are these beautifully milled pieces of titanium, unbelievably well done. This was one of the things that appealed to me the absolute most about this handle, was about this knife overall, was the way that this handle was done. The milling there is just very, very nicely done. It's very comfortable in the hand, and in fact it continues up onto the spine, which just shows that they did a little bit extra on this knife, just to make it that much nicer. To add to that, internally this knife has been significantly milled. I'm not sure if you can see this. I will be doing a full-on knife surgery video on this because I actually have bronze hardware here from Blades We Love. And that's because at the back here, this has some bronze standoffs. Now, I think these are aluminum standoffs, so that's a bit of an annoyance. But I think that it's just begging to have the bronze hardware put on there. The clip is also done in a sort of a bronze. I will say that the two colors do not match perfectly, so that's a bit of an annoyance already. But I bought this knife as my next project knife. If you guys follow my channel, you'll know that I love customizing my knives, and this one is just a blank canvas screaming for some customization. So expect to see this one get Frunkified at some point, and I'm really looking forward to carrying this. So what are my initial thoughts on this? Very early on, I can tell that this knife is extremely comfortable. The larger the knife, typically, the more comfortable they are in hand. I've really been enjoying carrying this knife recently, the Shirogorov F3, which is also a 4-inch blade. So I'm very happy to get another knife in this size that's extremely comfortable. The weight is not nearly as bad as I was expecting. I'm going to go ahead and bust out the scale here so we can actually figure out how heavy it is. On my scale, it says 5.39 ounces. That's really not that bad, considering how big this knife is. I have smaller knives that come in at that same weight, and definitely this one is amazing to have at that weight. I'm happy at 5 ounces. Over 6 ounces, we start to get into some difficulty to carry territory because I wear scrubs all the time. This one may be more for wearing jeans and stuff like that. I've tested the edge already, and it has barely been used. It's unbelievably sharp, and I know that if I were to put a really custom edge on there, that it would hold it for a long time with that 20 CV steel. So initial impressions are very good on this. Extremely comfortable, nice weight, nice size, beautiful design, well executed, extremely smooth, and I'm really, really thankful to have this one in hand. So I'm going to be carrying this guy a lot. This one just came in as sort of a pack of new knives that I've got. I'll just bring out another knife for a comparison here. Why not? A Chris Reeve large Inkosi. These two knives are going to sort of be the new stars on the channel for the next few weeks. Going to be carrying these guys and enjoying them. Let me know what you think of this knife down below. Leave some comments. Do you think that this was the best run of the 2017 knives from ZT? I still think right off, even with these initial impressions being very positive, that both the 0055 and the 0850 were more innovative and more interesting knives, but this one may have been the most useful and the most practical and maybe the best overall in terms of no annoyances, no problems, normal blade profile, normal handle profile. This may have been the best user of the 2017 ZT lineup. So let me know what you think down below. Definitely going to carry this guy. Go ahead and check me out on Instagram at Dr. Frunkey for some more pictures and information about my carry. And I'll be seeing you guys in the final diagnosis video on this guy. So go ahead and click like and subscribe to my channel here, guys. And as always, this is Dr. Frunkey saying take care.